Hi, it's Lindsay Carlson here. It's October, and of course that means it's scary movie time. And just in time for Halloween, Warner Brothers has finally seen fit to put out the Nightmare on Elm Street film series in 4K. Today, what we're looking at is the Nightmare on Elm Street 7-film collection in 4K. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. There's our cover art with Freddy Krueger just standing there looking menacing as only he could do. There's a side of the box, other side of the box, back of the box featuring a list of the films as well as some of the bonus features, a few screenshots from the movies. Art on the casing underneath the slipcover is pretty much the same. I do like how they actually made the casing red to sort of match Freddy Krueger's outfit. And of course it's the color of blood, so it works on many levels. We get a digital code of the films here. Don't bother trying that, I already redeemed it. We even get a pair of 3D glasses for if you want to watch the 3D portion of Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare in all its proper 3D glory. And here we have our discs, one disc per movie. So we start out with A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and lastly, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So this is 7 films spanning the period from 1984 to 1994. In keeping with Warner's recent releases, this does not include Blu-ray copies of the films, which is a little disappointing. So, any images you see in this review are actually taken from the earlier Blu-ray releases of the film. They are not 4K screen caps and do not represent the quality of this release. Also, the set does not include the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, nor does it include Freddy vs. Jason. I don't really know that the Nightmare on Elm Street films or their main villain, Freddy Krueger, really need an introduction, but for those of you who don't know, these films revolve around the villain, Freddy Krueger, who pretty much came back from death after a lynch mob of irate parents murdered him when he was let off child murder charges on a technicality. So he decided to get the parents back where it hurts the most, coming back from the grave and haunting them in their dreams. The first film came out in 1984, and right from the get-go, Freddy Krueger, played by veteran actor Robert Englund, certainly made an impact on audiences. So much so that it reprised the role many, many times. The following year, he'd come back in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, where he actually tries to come into the real world by way of a teen who's new in town. But then you get subsequent sequels like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, where children who are institutionalized actually bring their dream visions and versions of themselves to life to do battle with Freddy. Later on, you see plot twists like Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, where a young woman is about to give birth, but Freddy is haunting the dreams of her unborn child, and even go into slightly more dystopian mode in Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. And then topping it all off is Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which brings back original film director Wes Craven doing sort of a meta-style movie where Heather Langenkamp and Robert Englund actually portray themselves, but there becomes a supernatural twist of sorts. The Nightmare on Elm Street series was the first real original film success for New Line Cinema, founded by Robert Shaye. His sister, actress Lynn Shaye, actually does have cameos in a few of the films as well. And there's some great talent on deck. Heather Langenkamp portrays Nancy Thompson in 3 of the films here. Everyone knows Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, and it's the role that he'll forever be associated with, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And there's a lot of other talent throughout the movies that pops up as well. Nightmare on Elm Street, the original 1984 film, was actually Johnny Depp's first feature film appearance. The third film has an appearance by a young Lawrence Fishburne, still going by Larry Fishburne at the time. It's even got cameos by the likes of Zsa Zsa Gabor and Dick Cavett. The sixth film even has cameos from Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold. So there's quite a bit of talent on deck here, including people who would go on to pretty successful careers in their own right. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, has a young Patricia Arquette. And the list goes on. I could sit here going on about the cast and crew, but I like to let these movies speak for themselves. Freddy Krueger's been haunting dreams for over 40 years now, and I don't think the character is any less popular than he was when he was first introduced. It has been a while since we got any new Nightmare on Elm Street content, but I have a feeling Mr. Krueger isn't going to stay down for long. thus far, the only Nightmare on Elm Street film that had been released in 4K was the 1984 original. I believe the disc that's included here is identical to the one that was sold separately initially. And as far as I know, you can't currently buy these movies separately with the exception of the first one. Picture quality wise, I'm happy to report these look very good. It's pretty clear that some decent care has been given to these. The addition of HDR is really good, especially considering how many dark scenes a lot of these movies have. But then you also have some brighter colored scenes, and the addition of what HDR can do for brights, whites, and vibrant colors, that certainly makes a difference as well. So overall, these films look excellent. The only minor complaint I really have is there's some optical effects that haven't exactly stood the test of time too well, including some scenes that have sort of a white, dreamlike haze to them, including the final scene of the original 1984 film, and of course the classic video game sequence from Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, which was done on a CRT-style TV and is always going to look that way. But overall, I can give this package very high marks for its picture quality. As far as bonus features go, I don't believe there's anything new in here, but it looks like nearly every archival bonus feature has been ported over on the respective discs. So you have a lot of EPK type pieces. There's 2 commentary tracks on the disc of the first movie. Some of them have multiple cuts of the movie. Like the first and fifth movies both have an R-rated and an unrated cut. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare has an alternate cut where the 3D sequence is actually in 3D. Of course, I showed you those 3D glasses earlier, which will come in handy if you want to check that out at some point. So, yeah, pretty solid amount of bonus features here. Just sadly, nothing new. Would have been nice if we could have gotten some commentaries for the sequels, but I'm not disappointed with what I see here. Overall, the movies are entertaining. I'm not saying every movie in this collection is a masterpiece, but I have a soft spot for all of them myself. Picture quality is top-notch, and there's a decent amount of archival bonus features. So I think fans of Freddy Krueger and the Nightmare on Elm Street series will be very happy with this collection. Very highly recommended for horror fans. How about you? Are you a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series? Is Freddy Krueger your all-time favorite horror villain? Who's your favorite character in these movies? What's your favorite movie? Comment down below, and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure to give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.